This is my list of the top hunting scopes of 2024, at least by my opinion, and trust me, I test a shitload of scopes. Now, if I overlook your personal favorite scope, leave a comment below in the description so you can let other guys know that my big ass missed it. All right, here we go. All right, let's start out with Leupold VX-Freedom. Now, this thing is available 2 to 7, 3 to 9, 4 to 12, with duplexes, with all kinds of reticles, illuminated, non-illuminated. There are a lot of different variations of this scope. Pound for pound, buck for buck, punch for punch. The Leupold VX-Freedoms are just great scopes. They're lightweight, great glass, great track record, and it's a scope that doesn't look gigantic on your hunting rifle. It's just a great buy year after year after year. Now, here's a new one that'll probably surprise a lot of the guys that watch my channel. That's the new Vortex Viper HD 3 to 15 by 44. It's got a great illumination, a reticle I really like. Now, this is a scope that just came out within the last year. There's a lot of the Vortexes I think are way overrated. This is not one of them. Now, it's available in 2 different configurations. There's a 5 to 25 and the 3 to 15. Trust me, get the 3 to 15. If you're looking at the 5 to 25, look somewhere else. But if you can use something in the 3 to 15 power range and you want something with a really generous eye box and a large field of view and a badass illuminated reticle, this is a good one to pick. Now, this is easily one of my favorites on the list, the Zeiss Conquest V4 3 to 12 by 44. When you're talking about Zeiss, you're talking about glass. You're talking about the optical image, the brightness, the clarity, the contrast you get through the image. If you're looking into the woods and you're trying to pick a deer out of the timber, the Zeiss is going to be damn hard to beat. The 3 to 12 is really, really in the sweet spot of the Zeiss V4 series. All right, the Steiner Predators. This is another scope that's available in a lot of different magnifications, from the lower end of the hunting spectrum up to kind of the varmint hunting end, and they start getting pricey. It's at the very top of what this list is at $1,000, but you get a really good scope from a really good company with absolutely razor ass sharp optics in it. The Sig Sauer 4 to 12 by 44 Whiskey 4. Now, there's something about this scope that I think is just super nice, and that's the super low profile turrets. This thing is something that's not going to look out of place at all on top of your hunting rig, because a lot of these scopes with the new taller turrets, it's just something to hang brush in the woods. This is a low profile turret with some really good glass, a couple of reticles to pick from, and there's a lot of other scopes in the Whiskey 4 series, but this one right here is the one that I like the very best. I've tested a lot of them. This is the one I kept coming back to, and if you pick it up, you're not going to be upset about it. All right, the GPO Spectra 2.5 to 10 by 44. Now, for guys that are not familiar with GPO, it stands for German Precision Optics. These things are really good. When you're talking about bang for the buck, for the kind of clarity that you get through the scope, GPO is damn hard to beat. And this 2.5 to 10 has a gigantic field of view. Believe me, every scope that I've used from GPO, and I've tested a lot of them, have incredible glass. You can't touch it for what you get optically for the dollar. The Tract Toric 2 to 10 by 42. This is another great lightweight, short, super crystal ass clear scope that's available directly from Tract. You'll see a link below. Now, I don't have any discount codes or anything like that, but the guys at Tract put a lot of work into making sure they're at the very top of the class for what you get for the dollars that you spend. They have come up with a brand name in scopes that's always at the top of my shopping list every year when it comes to hunting optics. Now, here's one that's just a little bit different. This is the Burris Droptine 4.5 to 14. Now, what's different about this scope? For one, it's got an adjustable objective on the front of it. The second thing is it has an extremely long eye relief. It may not reflect it in the specs, but believe me, I've owned this scope. Most scopes go anywhere between about 3 to 3.5 inches of eye relief. The Droptine is probably 4 to 6 inches. It's got an incredibly long eye relief. So if you have a rifle that you need extra eye relief, a lot of the single shots, Ruger #1s, and a lot of guys that's got a super hard kicking Magnum rifle that don't want that scope right up next to their eye where you end up like this, this is a really, really good one. And it's priced right. The Swarovski Z3 3-10x42. This thing is nothing short of incredible. A small, lightweight, incredibly clear scope that you can pick up for well under $1,000. If you'll look around, you can find this thing on sale sometimes for around $700. Now, to a lot of guys, that's a lot of money. This is a hell of a lot of scope. All right, now for the guys that are looking for a little more magnification but still want second focal plane and great illumination, there's the Meopta Optika5 4-20x50. I have this scope on top of my 22-250, and believe me, I test a lot of scopes, so I get the opportunity to put pretty much what I want on it. This is a beast. I love this scope. I just don't know another way to say it. Now, all of these scopes, every scope on this list is a winner. But this one right here is really something special because it's hard to find something with good magnification, second focal plane in this power range that has this kind of glass that people can afford. Now guys, there's a lot of brands that I normally test on my channel. It's not going to come up in this list because I do a lot of the LPVO and precision scopes. And a lot of those scopes just aren't made for hunting. They're made for their purpose. Every scope on this list is made for hunting. It's designed for hunting. It's not apologizing for being what it is. It's not a hybrid type scope. Every one of these, you mount it on your hunting rifle this year, you can depend on it. You know damn well you got a hell of a good scope. And optically, none of them at the price range hold anything back.